8. Hey guys, welcome back to Starcastic Remarks. Along with Chris, I'm Ryan, and we are back with a double post-game edition for you today. We actually went to the game on Saturday, so it was really late when we got back. It was like, what, 11:30?
Yeah, and we did one, and the audio screwed up, and then we were done.
Yeah,
it was like
we were just like,
it was like 12:30 by then.
So it'll be deja vu for us, but not for everybody listening. So
yeah.
And Chris is busy eating his broccoli and rice. What else is in it? Cheddar cheese?
Nope.
No? What else is
broccoli, rice, sweet chili sauce. Boom.
And he's very proud of himself because he's a college student and he actually cooked.
I didn't cook. I guess I boiled water.
Although you desecrated it with a vanilla Coke instead of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
What are you?
I've had such a college day today. Like,
what do you mean by that? Go.
Like, I went to work this morning, right?
Uh-huh.
And I got back so I was at home all this weekend, right? My apartment was trashed, so I had a bunch of stuff to do. I had to do laundry, dishes, and everything. So I got back here, and I just like laid on my bed, and I was like, "Whoa, this bed's soft." And then 3 hours later, I woke up. So now I have to do everything in this podcast and homework, and so it's a miracle I made food.
So Christian is putting off his homework just for y'all. So
yep, you're welcome.
You're welcome, because everybody wants to listen to us and our crybaby opinions, right? Our butt-headed crybaby opinions.
Man, you're still butthurt about that comment, aren't you?
It was just out of nowhere. Well, so for those of you that don't know, I put this up on Twitter like a couple days ago. There's some lady on one of the Facebook groups that, long story short, called us butt-headed, brainless crybabies because it was the game against the second game against Tampa Bay.
It's fairly accurate.
And she's like, these kids have no knowledge of any hockey or anything. And she said that she thought that this joining a group called the Dallas Stars Hellraisers would be a group where it would be like very distinguished talking about hockey.
And Ryan can't get over it.
Yep, I can't. I'm mad. I'm just kidding. Okay, all right, perfect segue. I will tell you what I am mad about. I am mad about the game yesterday. Slightly. And not mad at the Stars. Because this is a game I honestly thought that we played well. But again, we're making a goaltenders look fantastic.
Except this time I feel like it was legit, though. Like, we almost had 40 shots. They were high-quality shots. And then that save at the end of the game. Oh, my. After that happened, I was like, okay, we've lost. It's over. Rene's not allowing another one. That was one of the best saves I've seen in a shootout in my entire life. That was awesome.
Well, and it just sucks because the 3 games previous, and Razor mentioned this on the broadcast, he said that he had let in 4 goals, 5 goals, and 6 goals in that order.
Yeah.
And so naturally you would think he would let in 7 for the next game, right? No.
As a personal story for him, that's awesome. He decided enough's enough, and he stole the hockey game. Like, that's what happened. He stole 2 points. That's the entire game. So
he stole a point. Okay,
well, he was the reason that they were winning at all in the first place. Even after the first period, we're down 2-0. I'm like, we should be winning. Rene was just outstanding.
And all the reviews I listened to that I watched, on YouTube, and then I also went back and listened to recordings of the TV broadcast and also the radio broadcast. We played a great first period, except for that minute.
Yeah.
Or 2 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And that's the Star season in a nutshell in that first period. We're playing well. We make a goaltender look fantastic, or in this case, he is actually looking fantastic. Or that was an interesting sound. And then it's all right. And then we get destroyed by our special teams.
Yeah. So, the power play and the penalty kill were both bad tonight. So that's definitely something that needs to be fixed. And the issue with it is they were decent last season. The power play wasn't so much, but the penalty kill was great. That was one of our strong suits. And to go from that to like nothing, like that bad of a penalty kill. And like from the stuff that Bones has been saying in post games and stuff, like it seems like a coaching issue, really. Like their strategy, it feels like they're not being aggressive enough on the penalty kill and not like contesting shots. They're like trying to give up shots like from the. Why would you give up a shot from the top of the circle on a one timer? That I don't think that's a shot you want to give up on a power play. And if Bones really believed that when he said that at the press conference, like I think that's just flat out incorrect.
Well, I don't know. The more this goes on, it seems like this is just an effort thing. Like I don't think this is a bonus.
The penalty kill didn't look like it was an effort thing though.
Okay, well,
there was diving to get the pucks out and everything. It's not a bonus. I'm not saying it's a bonus thing. I'm saying it's a special teams coach thing. Like I'm not exactly sure who the special teams coach is right now.
It might be Laxton.
Honestly, because of all the mix-up that happened since Monty, I didn't even like check up on that at all. But whatever.
Maybe it's Stevens. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's two ways you can look at the game on Sunday. So the two ways you can look at it is we played very well and we were able to get a point out of a game that we deserve to actually win, right?
My point of view.
Okay. So that's a point of view that you could look at and say, okay, that's great. They made a comeback in the third period with less than 10 minutes left, and they tied the game in a way that, there's many teams that can't do that. That's great. That's the positive side. If you're looking at it the negative way, this is a game we should have completely won in regulation, and it's getting later and later and later, and we're getting to the point to where it doesn't even look like we're going to make the playoffs.
I agree, but it's just hard to say that whenever like when a point is decided by not hockey, like a shootout isn't hockey. Like everybody understands that. It's just we don't want ties in hockey. So like for us to say that it's bad because we didn't win the not hockey part of the game. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
The skills competition.
Yeah. Which I think is dumb. Now I think that the Stars need to learn from the 3 shootouts now that we've lost. And
2 overtimes.
And we need to be more aggressive and in the game in overtime. Because at least in overtime, we've looked like we've had chances. The shootouts, they weren't. Like, this was the closest we got in the shootout
we've had in the season.
So we just need to either lose in overtime or end it in overtime. Like, either way, we just need to be more aggressive. So, but to count the whole game, the whole day as overall bad doesn't make sense to me. Because, like, if that goes into 5-on-5 overtime and you play in playoff rules, we're going to win that game. Like, there's no doubt in my mind we would have won that game.
It's just really frustrating to go 1-1-1 in your last 3 games when you feel like you had a chance to win.
You could have gone 3-0, yeah.
And maybe the Stars go on a tear.
That's what it feels like from these last 3 games. That's how I felt.
Something that's about to happen, and okay, so let's flip the script because we should have talked about the Saturday game first because we actually went to that game. That was fantastic. That game was absolutely fantastic. Everything was working on a level that the Stars needed. We were doing well. Okay, I take that back. We were doing okay on the penalty kill. We were, scoring on the power play. Otter was not overtaxed, but the shots he did face, he looked good on, which is why he got the start on Sunday.
I thought that was his first great game. I thought his other games he played really well, but I thought this game he played great. I think he was awesome.
Well, then on the flip side, his game on Sunday, he didn't look bad. But
it definitely wasn't one of his best showings.
Right, but the 3 goals that went in, especially that first one, I don't know if you looked at the highlight for it because I know you were listening to it on the radio, but I was just like, ooh, there's no way that he would ever have a chance to get that.
Yeah. I was listening to the radio because I was driving back to College Station, just so y'all know. Yeah, I pulled over at the third period whenever they got to 2-3 so I could watch the rest of the game, actually. I was at a Love's. It was great.
What time did you end up getting home? It had to
have midnight.
Okay. I knew it. Because after we went and played disc golf, I'm sure that you were just like,
Oh,
I don't even know. You left really late. It was like 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I did.
Okay. So anyway, honestly, all three of those goals I don't think were Otter's fault. Maybe the second one.
But like we've been saying, it doesn't have to be his fault but like Dobby might save one of them. Yeah, right. Dobby didn't win us that game, and Otter didn't win us that game, and Dobby might have. He might have made one of those stops.
Now, what I
or in the shootout, like.
Yeah. Now, what I like that Bonus did is he actually thought about something about how Otter did. Otter, I think he only faced 21 shots against the second game against Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Otter looked good. So you know what he said? Normally they've been flip-flopping every other game. Even on especially on back-to-backs, he was just like, you know what? Screw it. Nothing seems to be working. We're going to try this. So he tried something different. Now, it slightly backfired on him. But at the same time, I don't think that any of those goals were Otter's fault. And the Stars were getting chances. Now, the beginning of the second period in the Nashville game was not very good. They were pushing back, and we weren't doing much with it. And finally, we pushed back a little bit in the last.
Yeah, they turned the period around a decent amount.
Right. But
that was you this time.
That was my fault. Yeah,
yeah but
I mean, there's a trivia quiz that Matthew DeFranks put up. Whatever. Okay. Well, hey, speaking of which, random. Did you see that Dak Prescott re-signed with the Cowboys?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Same. We'll see.
Yeah.
But either way, back to hockey.
Yeah.
I kind of disagreed with the decision. I don't fault him in making it. Like, I think it's a fine decision to make there. Just, again, I don't know why I disagree with every decision that Bones makes. But, like, I just thought we should have played Dobby. I think Dobby's a better goalie. And, like, back-to-back, no matter how many shots you face, you're still being athletic for 60 minutes. So, I don't know.
Yeah, and I really do feel for Bonus right now. I really feel like, and I think I'm finally starting to see it, because at first I was kind of like, is it really Bonus's fault? But I'm starting to lean more to the side of there are some times when the Stars don't play well. And then there's these 3 games where we just it seems like we get unlucky. And we just haven't had much puck luck other than that game against Columbus. The 5-0 thrashing of the Columbus Blue Jackets. So, and then yesterday we played absolutely fantastic as well, and it didn't really show up until we finally pushed towards the end of the third period. And
we were pushing in like the first period and the end of the second. Just Rene put up a wall.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like we put up that extra little energy boost that we got from that goal. All we needed was one goal, and I felt like we could have.
Yeah.
We could have gone off, and that seems to be the case with the Stars. Like, if you get that first goal, all bets are off.
Yeah, if they could find a way to get that energy to, like, start periods and stuff, like when we're down like that in the third and just start off the third period that way, that hungry for a goal.
Well, that would be not even the third period, the first period.
Well, yeah.
I mean, when you look at the first period of the Columbus game that we went to, that first goal.
That's what it was.
We talked about it before the game started.
It felt like that from puck drop.
It needed to be garbage goals, and that very first goal was a garbage goal. And then what about the rest of the goals? The rest of the goals were pretty good. They were pretty, especially that Rope Hintz goal, by the way. So, cookie jar. So, and
then we got cookie jarred on a backhand in the shootout. That was sick.
Yeah, it was a really sick move. I did not like it. But we need to see that in the first period. So, and especially that's the way that the Stars seem to play, right? And they seem to, when they have a lead in the third period, they seem to turtle down. And I hate the way that they do that. But what they didn't do is they didn't do that against Columbus in the third period on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So it's back to a full 60-minute game. You can't take 2 minutes off.
And that's what it was against Columbus, and that's why we destroyed them.
Right.
So that's why I feel like these 3 games, it feels like a turning point.
This feels like a turning point.
That we got, like, unlucky, and like you said, like, Rene was the best. Rene last night was the best goalie that we faced all season. Like, at that time. Like he was outstanding.
The way he was playing, yes.
Yeah, he looked unbeatable, and we still managed to put up 3 on him. So I thought I see Sunday as a win overall. Like, I know we say moral victories don't count.
It's really hard to see it as a win.
If you lose in a shootout, like, it's that's why I just don't like shootouts. Like,
that's a good point, because it's amazing how different you feel when you lose a shootout or when you win a shootout.
Yeah,
because
like if you win a shootout, you're like, oh, we won the game.
But like loser, you're like, oh crap. And then it's just, well, what about all the other good things that we did? We came back in the third period with less than 10 minutes and tied the game. You know, if that's in the playoffs, all bets are off. There's no shootout.
No, bets are on. We win. If we were in the playoffs, we win that game. All of them meant to going to overtime. We would win that game. That's why it's just so frustrating. But like, there's no better way to do it. So I understand why the shootout exists. It's just hard to agree with people who get so down on the Stars for losing in the shootout when, like, it's not hockey. They didn't lose in the hockey portion of the game.
Mm-hmm. Just a skills competition, and it also didn't help that we didn't have Klingberg on Sunday night either. So, anyways, real quick,
let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, real quick shout out to him before you talk about that. Congratulations to Mr. John Klingberg. He is the father of a new baby. So congratulations to him. That's why he wasn't playing on Sunday night. And
in his absence, Miro Heiskanen looked awesome.
You see how much time he played?
Let's play him like that every game.
32 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you were asking, well, who plays with Lindell? And Miro was like, I'll play with Alexiak and Lindell. I'll just do both. And
he did. Yeah.
And he did. And it was great. I love it.
And then Hanley looked good again. So
Hanley looked good. I love it.
He's making another reason. Ew. That was disgusting.
Dubs. Keep going.
I rate that at 4. But anyways, he played really well again. And so let's also talk about somebody who actually was on the waiver wire today too. Justin Dowling. Justin Dowling got sent to the waiver wires, which I'm guessing is to send him to the taxi squad. So obviously with those 2 games, Saturday and Sunday, Bonus saw something that he really liked out of one of the players that was out there. And I think that player is tied to Dellandrea.
Well, or that's assuming that Nil and Bones are on the same page. I'm wondering, is that like Nil saying, why the heck is Dowling on the power play? Okay, I'm going to sit him down so he definitely can't be on the power play. So I'm wondering if it's not that. I mean, I don't know if it's 100% and Bones saw something in the young guys. That might be more true because especially on Sunday, he played he had Dellandrea and Robertson out there with the game on the line.
Yeah, right.
So that's probably more likely, but like, you never know. But yeah, that's another good thing that I want to talk about. Like, having Dellandrea and Robertson out there, like, they deserved it. Like, especially with the way they were playing that game.
Especially Robertson. Robertson has been...
Well, Dellandrea looked good, too.
Weeks.
Like, both games this weekend, Dellandrea looked good. I mean, less so on Sunday, but he didn't play as much either.
Right.
So...
I want to see him get more ice time. And I don't think he needs to be in a checking role.
Right.
It's not... That doesn't seem to be his forte because that's where Robertson was, right? Robertson was in the bottom 2 lines, and he wasn't getting those opportunities because, you know, we were trying other people up in the top 6. And then when Robertson finally got moved up to play with Hintz and Gurianov, then he got that opportunity and he showed.
That's why. That's another reason I'm kind of glad that Dowling's on the waiver because, like, I think having a 4th line of those young skill guys is more important than having the checking ability of a Dowling and a Caro. Like, I'd rather have Dellandrea and L'Esperance and Kibbe on the 4th line and have a flying quick line and let them learn how to check than to put in the veterans who can't learn how to score.
Well, that's why we have that 3rd line, right? Whether it's Dickinson in the middle or Foxa, right? Because
those guys are the guys.
And Cogs. It's always Como and Cogs, and it's either Dickinson or Foxa in the middle. And whoever plays with those 2 guys, that checking line is normally pretty decent.
They lock down. They lock down the first line of the other team. That's why it's so great, and that's why we have good numbers. Like, I mean, the top guys in other teams have bad numbers against us, except for Line, pretty much. Like, if you think about it, like when we play other great players, they don't really have great nights. Like, especially against Edmonton. Like last year, we locked down McDavid and Draisaitl pretty much each time we played Edmonton, which is crazy. Like, they score every game. So, and we did pretty good against them because that checking line is so good. They can lock guys down. So that's why I think having the fourth line with those checking guys who aren't going to score, like Dowling and Caro, no offense against them, because the way they got to the NHL is they worked their butt offs because they weren't as naturally talented as these other guys. But like when we need goals, we need those naturally talented guys on the ice to learn how to be an NHLer. So I think it's worth the risk.
Well, like Jason Robertson, he was the league leader in the OHL a couple of years ago. And then Ty Dellandrea was heavily relied on in the OHL as well for being the point guy. He was the Tyler Seguin of his team in the OHL and on a really bad team, like a really, really bad team. And he was still scoring really well. So those guys have shown that they can do that. And obviously Bonus is finally, I don't know what it is. Like he pulls guys in from healthy scratches and then just throws them out there and puts them in situations that you wouldn't expect. Like if you're on the fourth line, you were probably just playing on the fourth line 5-on-5 and maybe a little bit of penalty kill time, right? And maybe some power play time. Like very little. But like, and then when Ty Dellandrea comes back in, he's given all these opportunities. He's playing on the second power play unit, and like on Sunday, he's playing in the final minutes trying to get that game tying goal.
Well, and that's not just because Bones is just throwing guys out there. That's because Dellandrea's earned that stuff.
Well, that's what it feels like. But he was doing that with Tanner Kiro. He was doing that with Dowling. Both of those guys were on a power play unit, and they were on the fourth line.
Yeah.
So
they also had way less minutes though too. So that's why that was just such a confusing situation. Like I didn't understand that at all.
Well, so then you need to play those players more 5-on-5, and then give other people that power play time, which I want to see more. I do. I really want to see that more.
I want to talk about a little bit more like Robertson. Again, I'm just going to toot my own horn. I called it, everybody. He was amazing. I said it in the preseason. None of y'all believed me, and it was true. But he's really stepped out above everybody else. So, like, him with Gurionov and Hintz looks like the line of the future.
I love you too, Samuel. Night, Samuel. I love you too, bud. That's my son going to sleep because it's late. Love you, Samuel. Night, bud. All right. So, anyways, so Robertson continuing to be fantastic. Dellandrea continuing to be fantastic.
But Robertson really looks like he's making that next step. Like right now, especially, it looks like he's stepping into being a full-time NHLer. Like he doesn't look like a rookie with good prospective hopes. He looks like he's going to be a full-time NHLer this year. Well, like he's demanding time on the ice,
right,
with his play.
And he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. Like I am ticked off that I got scratched for 5 games. I'm not going back to the taxi squad. I'm not going back to, being a healthy scratch. I'm here to stay on this team, and you better give me ice time.
Yeah. And if Robertson goes back to the taxi squad, we riot.
Yeah. If he goes back, we riot, especially when we're goal suffering right now.
Yeah.
So, okay. So let's talk about that as well. So the goal suffering is getting out of hand at this point. Like we're not.
It's hard to say you're goal suffering when the last 2 games you've had 5 and 3.
Right, but let me rephrase that then. Goals from the people that we expect to score goals, like Foxa. He'll chip one in every once in a while. Now Robertson, maybe we can start expecting him to score goals more often.
That's why I'm saying it looks like he's stepping up.
But I'm specifically talking about the players that we really need to chip in, and I'm talking about the guys that should be in our top 6. Now Pavelski is outside of this.
I was about to say you're gonna have to exclude Pavelski on that.
He is good. Now he's only had 2 even strength goals, but he's
who cares when you're leading the league in power play goals?
Exactly. So he's leading. He's doing it on the power play, and he scored the Dallas Stars' last 5 power play goals. I think is a stat. But Jamie Benn, where is he at? Denis Gurianov, where is he at? Like especially when you've got Radulov, you've got Hintz out every once in a while, and Hintz is still producing when he's in the lineup, and then also Tyler Seguin. When you've got those 3 guys out, the people that like scored goals last year, even though Jamie Benn didn't score very much, and we kind of talked about this on Sunday night when we were watching. It was me, James, and Dad, and we were kind of saying Beast Mode Ben is no longer.
Yeah,
like we don't see it.
Yeah, to make your point for you, Ben and Gurianov can't be bad when 3 of our best goal scorers are out. Is the issue? Like you're not allowed to have a slump if Radulov, Seguin, and Hintz are out. Like it can't happen. You're one of the goal scorers when 3 of your top ones are out. You have to score goals. You can't be in a slump. Same with Guri. You can't be in a slump right now, and they are, and that's why we're having such trouble. Like if they were playing good too, like we probably win all 3 of these easily. So,
well, and especially the game on Saturday, and I was very vocal about this. There were about 4 or 5 passes that Jamie Benn made that I was just like, what on earth is he doing? I mean, and I was sitting up there yelling like, Jamie, what are you doing?
Yeah, just shoot, dude.
Just shoot the puck. And I've already told James that we're going to the game on Tuesday because obviously us being there is the reason why the Stars got out of the slump. So we're going to go to a game on Tuesday, maybe Thursday too. So.
I hate that I don't have spring break. This is stupid.
I'm very happy with the spring break, and I'm happy that and feel lucky that the Stars are in town. Well, I'm on spring break, so we got to expect more goals out of those people, and
the reason we're expecting that while other people are doing good is because our top 3 scorers are out. It's not just because Ben should never be in a slump and Guri should never be in a slump. Like, yeah, that's going to happen, but it can't right now. We don't have the guys for it to be allowed to happen. That's why those guys can't be bad right now.
Like, especially on the power play, it seems like Gurianov, that shot that.
Well, those look like it's a matter of time. It seems like maybe he's just missing.
It's a confidence thing.
Maybe he's just missing, but it seems like a matter of time to me.
So, I really think this is the turning point of us starting
if they
to
can
play better.
These next 2 games are going to be a great indicator because, like I said, Chicago is always going to play hard no matter who they're playing. So if
Mark.
We've already talked about that, I'm not going to talk about it again. Janmark is good because we didn't give him a chance. Now he has a chance, so now he's decent.
He has 16 points on the season.
Shut up. Moving on from the Janmark. Yes, he's playing better. We would not play him with good people. That's why he's doing good now. Moving on.
Okay.
I'm not moving on. Like, Dowling did good when he played with Ben and Seguin. Is Dowling a great player? No. Ben and Seguin are great players. There you go. There's your answer. Okay. What was I going to say? Okay, yeah. We're playing Chicago. Chicago is going to play hard. If we can match that intensity that they play with, I feel like that's going to prove that we have made that turning point and that we are ready to actually turn this season around, hopefully. But I think it's a great test, even more so than like a Tampa or even a Florida, because like they'll try and beat you with their skill. Yeah,
we don't need to be first place. We just need to beat the teams that are right there, and we didn't. And
those teams will try and beat you with skill though too. But Chicago knows that they can't. They're going to beat you
right now.
Yeah, they're going to beat you by playing harder than you, and they have been. But if we can play as hard as them, we have the skill to beat them. Mm-hmm. So if we can take two games, and if we take the whole series against them, I think that could really completely just turn the season around. Because I know everyone's saying like, "Oh, the season's already a wash," but like when you're this close to 500, you can really make a swing back, like really quick. It'll seem quick, but it's not really. Like we went 1-7-1 or 1-7-4. I don't know. We lost a lot of games at the beginning of last season, and then we did the exact opposite. It does because it's in the middle of the season, But I remember last season, that felt like the worst thing ever. Well, that was terrible.
This feels worse just because we went to the Stanley Cup final. But
yeah, that's probably more true.
They did go on a 13-1-1 tear after that.
Yeah.
So maybe this is the beginning of that.
Hopefully. But, that's the point. Is, especially with the Stars, momentum shifts are huge with this team. Within games, within seasons, if you can just take these next 2 games, you had a good weekend, you didn't get what you deserved, take it this weekend. If they can do that, they might just flip the season around really quick. So just all the people who are saying it's a wash, you obviously didn't watch the Stars last season. They had terrible slumps, great winning streaks. You don't know what you're talking about. So don't give up on the Stars yet. If they continue losing like this for another 10 games, sure. Give up on them all you want. But if they're this close to 500, you can't give up on the Dallas Stars, and they proved that last season.
If you want to give up on a team, go give up on Buffalo.
Poor Buffalo. Poor Jack Eichel.
I don't even at this point. I used to hate the Sabres just because of a history standpoint. 1999 Stanley Cup final. But at this point, I just feel bad for them. I really do.
I just feel bad for Jack Eichel.
Well, I feel terrible for some of those players, like Rasmus Dahlin. He's a great defenseman, but nobody looks at him and the fact that he plays well because he plays for Buffalo. It's just terrible. That maybe we'll talk about that on our radio show on Thursday, but we'll see. Okay. Anything else you want to mention, Chris, before we get out of here?
I think Dak Prescott is not worth that much money.
I haven't even seen how much it is.
I haven't seen it either, but I already know it's a bunch because he would have taken it.
Yeah.
But I hope he proves me wrong because he seems like the kind of guy who could prove me wrong. So.
Right. So even though we're Dallas Stars fans, we still love our football too.
I'm a fair weather Cowboys fan.
Yeah. I'm casual, I guess is the right word. Casual fan for the Cowboys. So I enjoy watching football, but very casual with the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones just needs to sell the team. Give it to somebody else. Sell it to Tom.
No, he just needs to hire a GM.
You tell him that, and he'll hire one of his sons to do it.
Right.
Right. Exactly. So, okay, guys. Anyways, that's gonna do it for us this evening. Follow us on Twitter at StarcasticR or on Instagram at Sarcastic Remarks Podcast. Like us on Facebook and follow us on our YouTube channel. Stars wins Saturday 5-0, but falls short in the shootout 4-3.
3-3
on Sunday. 3-3. They lose 3-3 in a shootout on Sunday.
That's what the stat should be. You're not just gonna add a goal. Who scored it? Oh, nobody. The team scored it. So stupid. Dumb.
We'll be back with you guys on Tuesday night when the Stars take on the the Chicago Blackhawks. And also check us out on 365 Sportscast Radio Network Thursday at 3:00, where we will be doing a live show. And
yeah.
Anyways, guys, good night, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.